God bless everyone out there in Radio Land. This is Prophet Craig, and the prophet is herself, Karen Craig, and this is Embracing Marriage with Karen and Barry. And we thank God for the opportunity for you joining us and us joining you today. It is now March the 13th. We're pre-recording this particular podcast. And we are up and about, still up. So we decided we're going to go ahead and do this podcast. And so how are you today, baby? How are you?
I'm doing good.
She got to get used to doing this, so I try to get her to say something. Yeah. So, all right. Well, we have one particular thing that we like to share with you today. Kind of based on a conversation that we've had not only with each other, but with other people. We discussed it. I think I looked up one particular subject on relationships. I always look up stuff on relationships and kind of share a little bit about that. Then we'll go on from there. But first, we want to pray. We're gonna get that out the way. We're gonna pray so that we'll know what we want. That what we say will be proper and will be led by the Spirit. So, Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come before you, and we bless you today. Thank you for a good day. We thank you for those that are listening to this podcast, and we pray that we say something that will benefit them, that will encourage them, that will strengthen them. We ask you, Lord, that you would just bless them on today. And we give you all the glory and the praise in advance. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Now, yeah. I see. And homie messing with me. So now, here's the subject of the day. We were discussing a subject on friendships. I was looking up some things on YouTube, and one particular thing I ran across is a couple, and they do called Couples Academy. And one of the questions that was posed to them, it says, can people of the opposite sex be friends? Basically what it was. Mm-hmm. And so we discussed that subject, and we asked ourselves, answered the question ourselves. Well, the answer that that at least I got, and then we talked about it. The guy that gave the answer basically just shared that, that the friendships between, let me put it like this. We're going to answer it. I'm going to answer what he answered, because his answer will be kind of correlating with what we say. We say no. The reason why I say no is because I've had female friends in the past. My wife had male friends, and most of the friends that we've had when we were single, she didn't have a lot of female friends. And I didn't have a lot of male friends. And the reason why we both did not have those opposite sex friends or same sex friends is because we didn't trust them. Mm-hmm. You know, I knew how men think. She knew how women think. And then she's seen cases where women were friends and they tried to steal the man from under them, or they tried to sleep with the husbands, or kind of do stuff like that.
Right.
And I've seen guys do that, try to step to women and step to the dude's girl and break this brother code that you have. It's an unspoken code of any friendship. And anybody that's been in a relationship 10 minutes would know this, that if you're dating your friend, if your friend is dating a girl or your old man, that you do not, even if they break up, I mean, to me, even if they break up, I don't think you should go out and date them.
No.
But you know what? This generation, they don't have a discretion. They don't have a moral compass. Therefore, they will just do whatever. They will sleep with whoever they sleep with. They'll fool with whoever they fool with, whether they sister fool with him, whether they brother fool with him, whether they mom, they sleep with anybody. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because simple fact, there's no moral compass.
It's like anything goes.
That's it. It's like anything goes. And so when you get that, it affects it. So can a man be friends with a woman and it not be intimate or sexual? I think that depends on what type of guy it is, and what I mean. It really depends, because people are it varies from person to person. Because some people will say no, because of the simple fact that all men pretty much are not going to be in a relationship with you unless there is an ulterior motive, period. Mm-hmm. They're not going to, like in your case, babe. Now, with the men that were in your life, now you had male friends, right? In the past. Mm-hmm. Has any of them? Can you say honestly that any of them were real, true friends? Y'all never did anything that were not friends with benefits, quote unquote. Just y'all were friends, and that was it.
No, they always, it starts off, like friends, but as you get around each other, be around each other, and that closeness, so yeah, it is bound to happen. Yeah.
I mean, in your case, you ever had cases like that?
Well, I actually had men friends and there was no sex involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there are cases where it can happen. Like me, I've had female friends that, and the ones, and it's all, I heard Steve Harvey say this, it depends on what he calls you. Mm-hmm. If he calls you his wife, that's what you are to him. If he calls you his friend, you his friend. Right. And so a lot of times if they're friends and I don't have any sexual connotation with them, and I don't have no sexual attraction to them, I call them sisters, because basically it's how I see them. I saw them as like sisters, like they're my natural born sisters. And I've had a few in my life that were like that I never touched, never had anything to do with as far as that, but I treated them like a brother. And I guess, like I say, it depends on the type of person you are. Now, today, because my wife is my only female friend and my best friend, I can't have all these other people in my life. Now, I have a lot of coworkers, and 80% and 90% of them are female. And a lot of them will probably consider me a friend, but I can't consider them a friend because I don't have any female friends. Just like my wife don't have any male friends. Now I do have male friends now, because since I got saved, I got some friends that I have church. There are different races, that I actually can call friends, male friends. But I don't have any female friends. If they are, they're couples. This is why I want to tell you about that. If you're friends, and my wife shared that too, that even in that case is dangerous, because if you have couples, and say for example, the couples, you're friends with a couple, you and your husband, you and your wife, y'all friends with a couple, and y'all share a lot together, and y'all spend a lot of time together, but something will happen in one of the marriages. Who do you think, because the fact that they spend that time, like my wife said, mm-hmm. Who do you think the first person they're going to come to when trouble hits? If it's a woman, she going to come to that guy.
Right.
If it's a man, he going to go to that woman, because he feels as though we're that close, we can share those moments. A lot of times that's not a good idea.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
So that's why this boils down to where we're fitting to talk about now. I have a person. We're not going to say his name, and we both know him. We didn't really give you our testimony about our recent coming out party. We came out of some stuff in the past last year that would have just made you like, oh, y'all still together? You know, we didn't really give you that testimony. We basically last time told you about how we met, and how God put us together, but we didn't tell you how we stayed together, the stuff that happened, and we got, there was a lot of hurts and a lot of betrayals, a lot of different things that happened, and how we come through it. Mm-hmm. And we're on the other side of this, and we see other people. Now, one thing about it, when you come through a trouble, a lot of times those people, you see other people going through that same trouble, you be like, man, I'm telling you, that ain't going to work for you. And that's what happened in my case. I have, like I said, it's a cousin of mine, and he was married. He hadn't been married that long. It's a second marriage. Him and his wife, a second marriage. They both had been married previously. They both had been through some rough relationships. He had divorced and she did too. So you took them two divorcees coming together, blended families because they both had kids. Plus, you know, he had some old habits that he brought into his new marriage. And so finally so did she. But mostly it was him in his case. And because I was only talking to him. And I gotta say this because this is a thing that, and I want my wife to say something about this too, because she really can really break that down. It's about respect. If you're a man and you know you have a problem with your eye, you know, you like to look at stuff. You know, say you're a guy who was hooked on pornography before you got married. You got in your relationship and you got married, and while you were dating and everything, you didn't do all this stuff, and then all of a sudden this stuff comes out in your marriage, because marriage has a tendency to do that. It tends to bring out stuff that's hidden. So all of a sudden this stuff comes out. She gets bothered because of the fact that she feels some kind of way because of what you did. That develops a whole different thing. Now in his case it wasn't that, but it was sure enough on the edge of it. Mm-hmm. And in his case, I told him, I say, look here, man. I say, you need to get rid of that stuff. I say, because she does not see it. She's insecure because of it, and she doesn't see it like you see it. You're thinking, okay, like this is one of the things that I shared as well. This is one of the things he told me. He said, because we mentioned about him having these things and he hit them and whatever. And he's saying, well, asked him, well, how would you feel if I was to go and have pictures like that of dudes swinging and all that? She said, and he say he wouldn't care because she coming home with him and it wouldn't matter to him. Yeah, it would. Yes,
I believe it would too.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter. If she was to bring a full centerfold of another dude that is not him, he would have an issue with that. Because, number one, you have to look at it from the other side. And he told me that, and I was like, that don't even sound like somebody that really wants to do anything different than what he does. And see, when you get in that mindset that you figure, well, hey, it's okay, and they got to accept it as okay because I accept it as okay. No, it's not okay.
No, it's not.
No, it's not okay. So baby, you tell me like you always tell me. Now, how was the woman when I was going through that? And I'm gonna tell y'all, I went through that. I did that stuff. And I want you to share with people, you know, at the time, what goes through a woman's mind when her husband or a significant other, whatever, does that.
Well, what goes through your mind, you feel less than. Mm-hmm. You feel like he preferred her over me.
Yeah.
That this is what he wants.
Yeah.
And you feel like if it's pictures, videos, you know, if the woman is shapely better than you or look better than you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're going to feel like, well, you'll start comparing yourself to this image or these videos where I don't have the body and I don't have the shape and he don't want me and he prefer this and then you go through this, well, why, well, like I did, I'm like, well, why he just didn't marry his type? You start feeling like, well, I'm not his type.
Yeah.
And you start questioning a whole lot, and truly, and it does. It make you feel less than and feel like, like my husband don't want me.
Yeah.
You just feel like I'm not what he wants. I'm not his desire. And it's a whole lot that goes on emotionally, that women deal with.
Yeah.
You feel like I don't measure up.
Yeah, you're trying to compare to something that really isn't real, and then you turn around and this guy who really doesn't understand how it makes you feel. Because one thing about it, and I always say this, that sin is not exclusive; it's inclusive. When you think your sin doesn't affect nobody else but you, then you've been highly mistaken, because it affects everybody. What you do affects everyone around you. If you're a married man, it affects your wife, it affects your kids. If you're a grandfather, it affects your grandkids. It'll affect your generations. Yeah. Because that stuff does pass on.
And it does. Yeah. Especially, you see some kids, the mom have low self-esteem. She don't esteem herself. Then a lot of time, you don't esteem your kids. So yeah, it goes, it could be passed down.
Yeah. And like I say, in his case, he figures, well, hey, what I said, man, I got like 78 pictures of her. And, I said, well, man, why you hold on that stuff? And he told, because he like looking at that kind of stuff. I said, well, dude, I mean, what was the point of you marrying if that's, I said, dude, why don't you just stop? Don't you get rid of that crap? It ain't worth it. He's like,
yeah, then you're dishonoring your wife.
Yeah, see, that's what comes out.
That's dishonorable.
That's disrespectful and dishonorable, and that's coming from a dude that been down that road. See, I did that not knowing that I'm. See, one thing about it too, the flesh is selfish and it's going to only think about itself. So it's not going to think about anybody else. And then all of a sudden you get in the middle of all this, and you get weighed out in the deep and figure out now, oh, I'm too far out. Because either the marriage is about to go, or you're not owning up to the situation and you're not dealing with it. And I was like, I had to tell my own self that. I say, you have to own up to the fact that you're responsible for the way she feels. And that's why I was saying, he can't blame her, just like no more I could blame my wife at the time when all this stuff was going on and when we were arguing back and forth because of it. I didn't understand that I was the one responsible for. So why should I get upset? Because I was the one that caused it in the first place.
Yeah, and then have this attitude problem. Yeah, because you mad because they won't accept it or they don't understand or it really ain't nothing. It's harmless.
No, it ain't harmless.
Yeah, and it is. It's
if I was able to, I'd pull up stats of all the different things that he can do and what'll happen. Yeah. But the thing is that and I'm gonna have them for another time. But right now, I'm trying to make it short. But what it is that I told him this, and I basically told him, I said, man, it's, he was saying, well, man, if this ain't all, cause I told her, I said, you need to really just listen to what she's saying, because honestly, she's trying to express to you her displeasure about the situation, but you're not listening. He said, well, man, no. And I heard same excuses I heard when I said it. And man, I ain't doing nothing now. I did it before, but I ain't doing nothing now. That's the point. You're not doing anything. You're not trying to rectify the situation. You're not trying to do any recompense. You're not trying to do anything different than what you was doing before. Yeah, that's true. You're not doing anything. You're sitting there doing nothing. And she's thinking, well, you should be doing something. You should be trying to fix the situation.
You at least try to change.
Yeah,
you know,
trying
stop,
to change.
you know,
Yeah.
stop giving me I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And expect you supposed to just accept, you know, well, I said I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry, you know, like
or it was a long time ago speech. Yeah, he did that with me too. Oh man, that was way back. I said, don't matter how long it was, dude. It could have been 1998. It's just like it was yesterday to her.
Because the issue's not resolved.
No, it
But
hadn't been.
y'all have to sit down. Y'all have to discuss this.
Yeah.
You have to let her express how did this make me feel. This is how you made me feel. You need to let her get that out. Express how you made her feel.
Yeah, if you're in a situation like that, you feel like you can't do this by yourself, get you some help. Don't ever sit down and just think, well, hey, we can resolve this on our own, like us, we're God, man and God and woman's man and God and faith and power, and that kind of stuff. We got all this great wisdom and we need to solve our own problem. God say, he could put us in a corner to the point where we had no other choice but to either trust in him or just keep sailing downstream, like we said the first podcast.
You have to see God's wisdom and his knowledge.
Yeah.
And get, understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're dealing with things like this.
Yeah.
You just can't just sit up there and just, like my husband was saying, just think that you could just solve it on your own. You can't.
No, you can't.
Now when emotions is high, on the high rise, you might, start off on good nature, emotions and feelings start getting in the way.
It's the reason why we're laughing, because we started off, we did that. We tried to, man, and we made a valiant effort at trying to fix this situation. We would start off, we say, well, we're going to sit down, we're going to talk about it. We start off okay. And then somebody, one of us, either me or her, would say something. Feelings. And then next thing you know, we're jumping up in the table and then we were going into the neighborhood. See, that's why. And then next thing and that's where you always knew never. And it goes into that.
Yeah, that's when your emotions take totally and completely control. And
you ain't listening no more.
No. I'm just trying to get my feeling look good.
Trying to get my feelings across so you can shut up.
You need to understand this feeling, right?
Yeah. And so what I had to understand, and I was looking at something we ran across. It was a fair recovery, I think it was. Mm-hmm. It's on YouTube. And we kind of understood, because I was not understanding. I really wasn't. She was saying to me all this time, she was expressing to me, and then the enemy really got in it, and it got worse. Because what happened, he started certain all these crazy things in our minds, and we started believing all these different delusions that was going on. And it started off one thing and it ended up something totally different by the time the enemy got in it. And so what we was trying to do is I was so busy trying to defend myself that I wasn't listening to anything. And she was so concerned about telling me her feelings that she never considered I might want to express mine. So basically both of us weren't really listening to one another.
No, we wasn't.
And so what happened, and strange as though it seemed, my mother passed in the beginning of this year, because all last year was where we went through this. My mother passed beginning of this year, and I went through a hard week. I mean, I went to the point of depression. I had thoughts of suicide. I was just, it was bad. Thank God my brothers was down and they prayed me through it. And my wife, she was dealing with her own such situations at the time. But I think what happened was, and she kicked into a selfless mode instead of selfish mode. She did. She really switched modes, and she realized that the last thing that I needed at that moment was to have to feel like I was losing both of them. And at that time I did, because I was going through a lot with her, and then my mom passed, and then I was feeling like I lost both people. So it was kind of rough on me. And my wife had to reassure me that she wasn't going anywhere and I wasn't losing her. So she walked through with me through this, because she'd been through this herself. Losing a parent is not easy. But the thing, what happened, she told me, and what was it, what you said that was a turnaround for you, basically? What was the turnaround? You said something I said.
Oh, I think that was one morning when we had a little heated fellowship.
Yeah, we had a lot of heated fellowships.
And I think when you had this really, you told me that that you wasn't, you say you're not gonna go nowhere, that you was gonna, that I'm your husband, and that you really reassured me, and you apologized and you told me that I'm your husband, I'm gonna be your husband, I'm gonna be there for you. So then I think the way that you expressed it and the way that you stressed it, and I kind of looked like, okay, I'm stuck with him. Basically, that's basically what he said. You stuck with me.
Basically, what I told her was,
and I'm not going,
Yeah, what I told her this. I said it was 1 a.m. She was driving to work, and I was dropping off, and she gave me one of these side-eye looks, and I said, you know what? You can give me mean looks all you want. I ain't going nowhere. You stuck with me. I'm ready, mad or sad, upset or happy. I'm gonna be right here. I'm still gonna be your husband, and that's not gonna change. That was all I said, pretty much in that one sentence.
They pretty much just turned everything, and I think the way he expressed it is mainly, and it hit home.
Yeah.
Really.
Because when I wanted her to know that because I had made up my mind I wasn't going anywhere. And many times that the enemy was trying to split us up and make us just go our separate ways and whatever, I had made up my mind, say, I'm done with that nonsense. I'm staying here. We're going to work through this because the enemy has been fighting us long enough. It's time to turn our attentions on him. And so that's what it was doing. So what ended up happening, but what was able us to be able to talk again was the fact that when my mother passed, we're sitting across the table one another, and she, for the first time, actually listened to my heart, and I was expressing to her how I was feeling during that time, because there was a lot of stuff going on, y'all. I'm telling you, if we sit down and tell you. Y'all would say, y'all people still together?
Yeah, I mean, the stuff that we did and the stuff that we said. Man. Y'all be like, y'all know without a shadow of a doubt that this was...
that was God.
It was God keeping this marriage together because, oh, Lord.
Lord, I tell you. We have to bring it to a close. But I tell you, we gonna give y'all the little testimony about last year. 2017 was a rough year for us.
It was real rough.
It was a rough year for us. But
I mean, when I say we was tested and tried, and like the enemy was just letting loose. He was. I was doing the most.
He was doing the most. but I think God was doing the most too in the midst of all that.
He was. God, the devil was doing the most, but God was doing the greatest.
He was doing the greatest. Yeah, that's good. The devil was doing the most, but God was doing it. We gonna put that on Facebook, y'all. That phrase, and we're gonna hashtag it. God's doing his most. He's the greatest, but something like that. But anyway, like I say, the thing is that to answer those two things, it depends on the person. It really does, but mostly no, because there's going to be some attractions because you're together. And the guy mentioned that a lot of people, whether they're same sex or opposite, we're all drawn together by attraction. We have same interests and likes and dislikes. And so that's a lot of times what brings us together.
Right. You're
attracted to the same thing. Therefore, that's the reason why you come together in the first place. So the only commonality me and my wife had is the fact that we both were saved. We both were in church. We both loved the Lord. We both was active in our churches at the time.
Because we have nothing in common. I mean, if y'all was to sit us down and do an interview, y'all be like, well, how y'all get along and what do y'all, we had nothing in common but God.
That's all.
Because he liked sci-fi movies and his what he like and we don't like the same movies. I took interest now, but I mean, in the beginning, I was like, we total opposite. I mean, we don't have nothing in common at all.
We don't have common interest.
Very little.
No.
And I think because I had to take interest in coming to his world.
Yeah.
But other than that,
no, she's not. See, I'm a gamer. She's not, and I do a lot. I'm tech savvy. She becoming that. She didn't care for none of that stuff.
No, I'm more of a music person.
Yeah, she's a music person. Me, I would listen to music only if I'm going to sleep. Or if it's early in the morning, like at times, if I'll put worship music on, a lot of times if I'm leaving, I'll just set the atmosphere. So, cause I know she likes music. A lot of times I do stuff because I know she likes it. I'll set music for her when she cleans. I'm sitting, cause a lot of times if I'm sitting here, she's cooking. If she really wants to stay up, I'll say, babe, you want to put some music on? She'll say, yeah. So while I'm gaming, cause I'm sitting here in front of the computer, I just throw it on the TV and she'll listen to it. And so we learned how to adjust to doing this stuff. And I had to show her how to do things. And she learned pretty quick. She's a pretty quick learner. And but a lot of the things that she does, I'll be like, I can't go. Like she shops. I'm not a shopper. So I'll go with her if she want me to. But a lot of times I'll sit in the car and wait on her. And then she says that about her. She said that about me one time, that I actually would just wait on her. And this lady was like amazed that I don't buy my own clothes and that I don't give her no problems when we go shop. And she was just amazed at how relationship is. Cause a lot of people not like that.
No.
I mean, we talk to couples and they don't even cook for their mate.
They don't even wash their clothes.
Yeah,
I heard one lady tell me my husband wash his own clothes. And she don't wash his own clothes and he better cook his own food. And I mean, you just really be surprised how, you know. Yeah.
It kind of, I mean, he work hard and do everything and she just, you know, whatever. He on his own. He do his thing. I do me. They say, and we work together. So a lot of couples say, I can't work with my spouse. That's because you want to go out there and flirt. Because you can't work with your wife. That means that you got somebody there that you don't want your wife to see, you know. And so I intentionally got my wife on the job for that very purpose, because I want to maintain integrity. And that's a big thing with me. And she knows that. So, and I know that she's about the truth too. And like you say, told in every aspect, if you want to put it in every single aspect, even if you want to get real technical about astrological signs, we have totally different ones. We're on both ends of the territory. I'm in the beginning, she's in the end.
Yeah.
We did a personality profile. We have totally opposite personality traits. You know, the only mine is dualistic, so I had times I can be from one to the other, but she's mostly that. I call
black
her
or white.
Black or white, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how she is. If you want to know about that personality, what personality you are, we got the site that we go to. It's called 16personalities.com. You go there, 16personalities.com. You go there, then it's got a little test you take, and we find out what kind it's like four categories of 4 different personalities. So it's like 16. So
and we found out even in some of our conflict that we were having a personality. Our personality was actually clashing.
Yeah, they were clashing. We was
like this clashing. I was like,
they weren't complimenting one another. No, they were clashing.
We was like, we just butting heads with personality, because I was like, well, I think we had discovered something about what our one was like, who and what. And,
I was the where and when. Hers is the why and what. Mm-hmm. And she always just say, why is this and what is this?
Yeah, and how and
how. Yeah. How this get on here? What is this?
Yeah. So we was clashing.
Yeah. And
we had a big personality. Yeah. We was clashing our personalities. I was like, so we have nothing in common.
The only fact is that we saved. That's the only thing. That was it.
We both love God.
Yeah. We both was in church, and I was active in church and was in ministry, and that was the only commonality. That's about 1, 2, 3 things out of 100 things out there you can think of. Yeah, we
just had to learn to take a liking to it.
Yeah, we had to develop interest in each other's things. And see, that's part of marriage. I mean, becoming one. And that's the thing that you have to learn how to, is become one. I think when we get a steady schedule, you're going to get we're going to do a lesson on that, becoming one, and talk about how the process of becoming one. Well, like I said, we're going to bring this to a close. We're getting into our 34-minute mark, and we don't want to go too long, but we always go at least 30-some minutes. But when you're talking and when you really get into a subject, it has a tendency to be long. But like I say, you want to check us out. We're on embracemarriage.podbean.com. You can check us out there on Embracing Marriage podcast. That's our podcast. You can also go on YouTube and Embrace Marriage Ministry. That's where channel is. You can type it in there. We don't have a personal URL yet, but as soon as it will be that Embracing Marriage and our channel. So you can check us out on Facebook as Embracing Marriage, Embrace Marriage, Dare to Be Different. Because that's another podcast that we actually do. Matter of fact, this is kind of be our Dare to Be Different broadcast, but we just entitled it the Embracing Marriage with Barry and Karen. So that's kind of how we work it. So you can check us out on those 3 areas. We're also on Google Plus at Embrace Marriage. We ain't got no Twitter yet. We're still undecided. So that's still in the air. But if we do have one, it would be at Embracing Marriage. So that's what it would be. So, but right now we're not getting that because we're working with what we got. So anyway, just pray for us and we'll pray for you, and you continue staying in the faith, and God bless you, and we'll see you on next time.